Life doesn't come with a handbook, and no one should have to face it alone. That's where Courageous Minds Counseling steps in. Based in the Des Moines Metro, this group practice provides culturally responsive, trauma-informed therapy for children, adolescents, adults, couples, and families. Their team of highly trained and compassionate therapists understands that every person's journey is unique, whether through eye movement, desensitization and reprocessing therapy, play therapy, dialectical behavior therapy, mindfulness, or traditional talk therapy. They design treatment plans that meet clients where they are and guide them through where they want to be. From overcoming trauma and anxiety to navigating relationships, transitions, or self-discovery, Courageous Minds Counseling creates a safe space to heal, grow, and thrive. Because healing isn't a one-size-fits-all approach, and everyone deserves a chance to be heard, supported, and empowered. Call 515-601-2890 or visit courageousmindscounseling.com to schedule your appointment today. When courageous minds speak, oh, the possibilities. Welcome back to Black Girl Iowa, the podcast where we uplift the stories and voices of Black men and women making an impact right here in Iowa. I'm your host, Emili. Today, I'm excited to welcome Jjuan Hakeem, a leader, husband, father, podcaster, and former professional athlete who is making a huge impact in our community. Born and raised in Beaumont, Texas, Jjuan is a proud graduate of Westbrook High School, class of 2013, and went on to earn his business management degree from Grandview University in 2018. He currently serves as a career coach and partnership director at Change Course, where he helps people create pathways to meaningful careers. He is also the host of the Minds with Hakeem podcast, where he meets with experts in health, wealth, and knowledge to share practical tools for life and success. Beyond his professional life, Jjuan is deeply invested in his community. He's a member of Cottage Grove Church, a board member of the Wilkie House, and in 2023 was named Altoona Young Professional of the Year. He is also a two-time NAIA All-American, a former professional basketball player, and most importantly, a husband to Sammy and father to his son, Titus. We're going to talk about faith, family, career, and of course, his podcast journey. So, ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary friends, I'd like to welcome Jjuan Hakeem to the show. Jjuan, thank you so much for being here today.
I'm excited and delighted to be here today. That was a pretty cool intro.
Thank you.
Good job. I'm ready to go.
I always tell people, like, I love it when y'all send me y'all info from the Google form that I send out, because then it's like I get to just kind of start throwing things out, and it's like, okay, how do I want your intro to go? So that's me using this journalism degree that I paid for.
That Google form is elite. It's something I'm trying to steal from you. That's elite. The way you get all those nuggets and information on your guests, I like that. It's pretty clean and easy form.
Yes, absolutely. Listen, I'm a sucker for a good Google form. I'll use one for almost anything and everything, so I love it. So I want to go ahead and jump right in here. You are proudly from Beaumont, Texas. So while you are not born and raised here in Iowa, your journey here is unique. And what I always love to hear is when people come to Iowa, there's never that intention to stay. And then it's like 10 years later, you're still here. So do you want to talk a little bit about what it was like for you to grow up in Texas and eventually move to Iowa?
Yeah, no, I was definitely a part of that group of I'm never staying here, especially when I got here in 2013. Now, a lot of people probably not remember, but this Texas boy remember. That 2013 winter was so brutal. I'm like, yeah, no, this is definitely not the place I need to go in. I think I had this is true, GPA of 1 point something. I wasn't going to class. Like I was not first semester. I was not going to class in that snow. I was always at the basketball gym, but that was the biggest adjustment for me. And mostly, I grew up in a pretty diverse area, but predominantly Black. and going to a campus where the athletes and other stuff, and the school was 88% athletes when I was there, first and foremost. They had black people on campus and stuff like that, and people of color in general. But outside of the school, like when we go to the mall and when we go places, and I was like, oh, it's a lot of like white people here. So I did no research on Iowa or none of that. I just showed up, took the opportunity. But, you know, I miss Texas a lot. I adore being here in Iowa. But the thing I miss the most about being in Texas is simply the food. The food, I think the best food in America is located in Beaumont, Texas, or Southeast Texas region. I'll lump Houston in there. We got a lot of Cajun, and I think we do crawfish boils better than anybody, including my Louisiana folks, which I know caused a lot of controversy. We do
Now,
not do
Jjuan,
gumbo. Go ahead, go ahead.
I feel like some shots is kind of fired here because I've had a lot of
Hmm.
Chicagonians on the show,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they
yeah.
say, nope, best food is in Chicago.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
if you want a glizzy, yeah.
oh, okay. All right,
I
y'all
didn't
heard
have to
it
take
here
it there.
first.
I didn't have to take it
Jjuan
there.
said, argue with your mom, not me.
Yeah, yeah,
East Texas, that's where it's
yeah.
at.
The
Okay.
best food in America, the most flavor. And here, I did make a shot at my Louisiana folks. I do want to pay homage because Beaumont is located in a certain spot to where we're an hour away from Houston, but we're 45 minutes away from the Louisiana border.
Mm-hmm.
So right on the, we're closer to Louisiana than we are actually Houston. But Louisiana do gumbo, etouffee, all those Creole dishes
Mm-hmm.
way better than Beaumont. I'll give them that. But as far as Asian boils and stuff like that, you got to come through Beaumont to get the best of the best. So, um, but back to your question, yeah, the biggest difference, obviously, the food. That's what I miss. But what I love the most about Iowa, is the experience of four seasons.
Mm,
Besides really the winters, I complain every winter.
mm-hmm.
I tell my wife we're moving back. We're moving to Texas. She's never lived in Texas. She's been, but like we're moving back right now. But the Four Seasons is a beautiful thing. You know, I think every human should enjoy Four Seasons. And in Beaumont, you only get hot for 9 months and cold for 3 months. And when I say cold, I'm talking 60, 50,
Yeah.
not real cold. So yeah, but no, it's been an interesting transition. I've been here now for 12 years. Um, coming in 2013 in August, and now it's 25. Yeah, I've been here for 12 years now. It's been a great journey, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so you came to Grandview University,
Hmm.
studied business management and professional, and you were a basketball player here, and then ended up playing some professional basketball. So
Hmm. Hmm.
what was it about your basketball career here at Grandview that said, you know what, now I want to take this into
Yeah,
that professional realm?
yeah. So I was being from this dense area of the Houston area with a lot of good athletes, basketball players in my case. I was what one would call a late bloomer and under recruited. So I went to a smaller school, Grandview. Actually, every time I try to get on the
Yeah.
podcast, I rep my Vikings as much as I can.
Yep, he just held up the
Um,
cup, y'all.
yeah. If you're listening to the audio, I'm drinking out of a Grandview beer glass. It's water though. So, with that being said, uh, I was able to fall through the cracks and go to a smaller school. I was recruited by somebody I greatly respect. His name is Andy Woodley. His brother is now the head football coach at Drake University. His dad was at Iowa State, then head football coach at Grandview. They spent some time in Houston and kind of funneled up a chain of Houston players when they was having their time at Grandview. And you know, when I got there right away, it was like basketball only, which is why my GPA was so low. Then I had to get that in order to play. But I always knew like I was pretty decent at basketball and I was under recruited. I would play with like guys who went to bigger schools and stuff like that and still not only hold my own, but dominate some of those guys as well. So I knew I could go make some money off this. And I worked so hard at the craft. I had one goal, and it was to get paid for all this work that I put in. Now, I was not making NBA money in Indonesia, but I was able to go through after graduation. I went through some train ups. I worked out here in Des Moines a little bit. And then I just wasn't getting, I didn't get a call yet to get a job, but also I knew I needed to go, I need to go to a bigger city for a little bit so I could spend time working with bigger players and better players that I couldn't just find here in Des Moines. There was a lot of great guards in Des Moines who was my size or shorter, but I need to be playing against like 6'7", 6'8". So I went to Houston I moved back to Houston for 6 months to
Mm-hmm.
work out down there and train and get my body ready. And then I went to Vegas, do the workout in Vegas in front of some agents, signed with an agent, and then he made the call and I got drafted to go to Indonesia, Surabaya, Indonesia, and that was quite an experience. But
Wow.
I knew, and that's when I accomplished my goal. And this was in 2019. This was in 2019. That's when I accomplished my one goal I had set out that I wanted to make some
Mhm.
money for all this effort and this hard work that I put in.
That's amazing. And I feel like a lot of the times when we have goals, especially ones that are kind of like on that in that athletic realm,
Mm-hmm.
for a lot of us here in you learn the game, you train, you play high school, you go to college. The goal is always D1, but a lot of players end up going
Always.
D2 or D3, and then it's NBA, it's
Mm-hmm.
NFL, it's MLB.
Yeah.
But what I've kind of seen and really gotten to understand over the years is that a lot of players see success in other countries. Like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of a lot of players, in the NFL, they don't get to the NFL, so they go up to the CFL up in Canada and then they're
Yeah.
champions. You know what I mean?
And they
So
and they get it done.
yeah. So was that a hard shift for you then to say, okay, you know what? Maybe NBA isn't the route, so I'm gonna go play in a professional league in
Yeah.
Indonesia.
Yeah. No, it was a bit difficult, just as far as a pride standpoint. But one thing about Beaumont that I didn't really explain, Beaumont is like a small basketball mecca. We got a lot of players who go overseas and make great money. One of my mentors at the time, his name is Chris Richards, who I think Chris is about 7 or 8 years older than me, so he would be 38, 39 right now, and he's still in Romania right now playing.
Wow.
So when I was in high school coming up, when he came home from his jobs and he went to a rival high school, and Beaumont is so like divided on sports, it's like for him to allow us from Westbrook to work out with a guy from Ozan and
Mhm.
just show us the ropes,
Mhm.
that was one of my people I looked up to, like Chris and Jacobin Brown, and they both went overseas and signed over $100,000 contracts, both of them. So I kind of already knew like I'm not as good as these guys yet, and they not in the NBA. So it was kind of creeping in. Like obviously the goal was NBA, but I kind of already had that mindset going in, coming from this huge basketball town that, yeah, I can go fulfill my dreams in another country as well. And
Mhm.
where I was able to fulfill my dreams at, they love basketball. I was treated like an absolute professional because I was. And it was a lot different from the NBA, but it was amazing.
It really sounds like a lot of what you learned in training and
Hmm.
changing your mindset as well led you into the career path that you're on now. So you are currently a career coach and partnership director at Change Course. What do you see as some of the biggest barriers and opportunities for people starting over or seeking new
Yeah.
career paths?
With Change Course, what our specific role, we focus on three customers. And I call them customers because we get the opportunity to service them and get nothing back in reward. We focus on people who are previously incarcerated. So they either a felon or just regular jail time and struggle to find work. Addiction, people who have went through loops of addiction and can't find work and can't find a new community. And also generational poverty, people who've been on government assistance their whole life and just nobody ever instilled that hope in them and encouraged them to go be great in their own realm. And I say what the biggest like barrier or challenge is that one piece of encouragement and hope. We get the great privilege to walk alongside these folks while they change their own life. They have to do all the hard work, but they've never had most of the people tell them, you can do it. You can't, you're better than that. I know that's your past. Your past doesn't define you. History doesn't repeat itself if behaviors change. So that's what the opportunity we get to do. It's a great, beautiful thing. I get great joy and great pride in seeing them do the work in their own while I
Mhm.
get there and cheer for them. So it's a lot different than sports coaching, and a lot of things are similar, but the biggest difference is you're a cheerleader for these people as well. Like in your coaches in sports, they cheer for you and want you to go far, but you get to watch them just change the trajectory of their life, and it's awesome. It's amazing.
Yeah, and that really brings me to something that I had a conversation the other day. So as you know, I'm in education. So I'm currently at a tuition-free charter school for it's an alternative school for students that want to get their high school diplomas, right? So
Yep, yep,
you
yep.
know, they didn't see success at their home school, so they come to us, right? And this is my very first time in the full K through 12 teaching kind of realm, right? Like I
I'm
taught a
proud of you
semester
for
of
putting your hands to
college.
the plow.
Yeah, and
It's awesome.
I was in class the other day, and I'm just thinking, like, God, like, why don't these kids understand this? Like, this is their second chance, all of these things. And so I asked one of my coworkers, whom was in the same boat, and we went to school together. And I asked her, I said, how do you stay motivated to continue to support these kids when you know that they have a wall up and you can't penetrate it?
Mm-hmm.
And she said, my motivation is that I was one of those kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I let my guard down to one counselor and they changed my life. This work, getting with people that have been on the same trajectory for a very long time, being with these kids that have gone through very chaotic life lived experiences and being that beacon of hope, it's hard. It can be emotionally and mentally exhausting, but it's definitely worth it. So, how does Jjuan stay motivated to help these people get what they need and be successful and change their history?
First and foremost, before anything, I'm a man of faith and a man of God. What I realize in scripture that I read, Jesus meets everybody where they're at. So for me, first of all, I have to view no matter what this person been through, whether it's addiction, prison, or generational poverty, which generational poverty is the pillar that I come from. These people are all made in the image of God. So it's some things that I may understand, like budgeting, that they don't have a clue. So it takes a lot of patience, but it also takes the mindset of viewing them as image barriers of God makes me meet them where they're at. A lot of times I know the answer about something, but the beauty in career coaching is I don't give them the answer. I ask questions to let them discover the answer on their own, even if I know it. Sometimes I don't know the answer. But asking questions, which going into it, I thought it would just be advice dump. Oh, I know this. I've been through this walk. Let me tell them about this. Let me tell them about this. But that don't work for somebody who is capable of changing their own life, but they used to having their hand out, whether it's for addiction or government assistance, whatever. It's having them not have their handouts, but put their hands to the plow in their own life first, and then also have them pay it forward and be good stewards of their community and give back. So it's kind of a brain rewiring in a way to let them know, like, hey, yes, you've been served so far. Yeah, I'm gonna come alongside you. I'm not reaching down to pull you up out of poverty. I'm walking alongside you. Like we got to do life together. So that's the biggest thing for me. It's like coming in with that mindset. Okay, I'm not better than Sally, who's was addicted to meth and she's the same as me. We're both image bearers of God. I'm gonna respect Sally for who she is as a person, not because of her past. And then that's how because they come in, like you said, with that wall up. I don't know this person. They white. I'm definitely not rocking with them. He black, but he acting weird and I ain't act. So they come up with these weird stereotype walls that we all have. So how do you break that wall down is by genuine love and care for their growth. And
Yeah.
one thing I do that's probably not bad is when I have to reiterate or discipline something, I would tell them, we are here to assist and serve you. And here's the reality of it. I don't get a commission. I get nothing from you being successful in your own life. I get absolutely no reward. So, and I do that to just paint a perspective to them that like, I genuinely care about your growth and I genuinely gain nothing from your growth. Like I
Yeah.
gain absolutely nothing. So I was long winded.
No, that was perfect. And something similar with the students that I'm working with, I'm starting to get to know a lot of them, especially the ones that are on my caseload
Yes,
with the
yes, yes.
school. And for a few of them, at first it was, well, what do you know?
Mm,
And well, why should I trust you? And so one kid said that to me, and I said, do you know how many times I've graduated? Man, how many? Three. And I'm not even counting eighth grade promotion or fifth grade
yeah.
promotion. I said, I have high school diploma, my undergrad degree, and I have a graduate degree. And one of these days, I might even get a PhD. So even though on
Mm,
the surface, it may not know like I know something, I know things and I want to tell you, I want to
yes.
help you. And I feel like once I kind of said that, and let the students know the things that I've been through and how it hasn't necessarily been easy. And I think the
Mm,
other part of it is while I haven't lived the life or walked the steps that you have, that doesn't mean I haven't been through something.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of times what kind of happens is I've seen this in my life. We play trauma Olympics. Who's been through more, and experience is experience. And I really try to tell my students, my experience is not like yours. I don't know what it's like to go through the foster care system. I don't know what it's like to have a parent that's incarcerated. I don't know what it's like to be told I can't come back to school because I've missed so many days. I don't know what any of those things are like, but I do know what it's like to feel like I have no one to reach out to and that people have given up on me.
Yeah. No,
So,
and before you move on, I do want to, because you are exactly right. The Trauma Olympics is insane. And that's normally in our program, the first 7 weeks, we get to unpack each other's story, and somebody else share something audacious that they went through or wild and absurd. And somebody, like, oh, I went through this.
yeah.
And our CEO, Joseph Johnson, said one thing when I was doing my orientation that will stick with me forever. He said, when you get the beauty and the great pleasure to work with people like this, one thing you have to remember is we connect more in our failures than in our successes. Let's look at Emili and Jjuan for a second. You graduated 3 times. I only graduated twice. I can't relate to the extra education you have. I played professional basketball. You can't relate to that success that I had because that's not but we still had struggles. Life promises suffering and struggles. Doesn't mean that you went through this and that, so I'm better than you. No, we all struggle in some form of fashion. And that struggle and that failure is where we connect with everybody at. Like I bumped my head, so I didn't make it to the NBA. I failed. Like
Yeah.
whether I want to look at it like that or not, that's what it is. So
Yeah.
sorry, I just had to throw that in on
Yeah,
there.
no,
That's good.
it makes total sense. And just one correction though. I mean, I did have to retire in my prime. Callahan B team. I really just needed to focus on
It
family
matters.
and my studies. It's a really hard decision to make for a 13-year-old.
You definitely could have been playing for the Phoenix Mercury right now.
You know what I'm saying? Like on track to be the next Cheryl Swoops, y'all. Like,
Yeah. And
come
watch this,
on.
y'all. Emili, how tall are you?
Listen, huh?
How tall are you?
To be point, like, leave me alone.
That's fair. No, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Listen,
You're right.
listen. I balled out. I averaged 7 points a game. So,
Hey,
just saying. I'm just saying,
no
but
disrespect, big sis.
but listen, but that girl that posted up that screen on me from Hyatt Middle School, I'll never forget. My dad was sitting in the front row, and I thought I was doing something. I went to switch up. That girl came out of nowhere, just knocked me out. I fell out, and I remember getting in the car.
That's hilarious.
And my dad said, "You okay?" I said, "Dad, I don't want to play basketball no more.
I'm done." He said,
I'm good. I think
fella.
it's time to retire." And he was just like, "Finish out the season. You have a commitment to your teammates.
I love that.
And you do not have to play." So I officially retired from basketball in my prime, and I wouldn't change it.
Dang.
I know people are listening like, "Oh, this girl is crazy." No.
Hey, but that's real though. Like that's real.
It's real.
I got a similar, like Texas is crazy for football, and I'm not gonna tell this story, but I got a similar football story just like that.
Okay, so you had your fire in your time too.
This ain't for me. Y'all meatheads, y'all got it.
Listen, because getting hit, that ain't fun. Like no, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Negative Ghost Rider. Yeah.
But I want to switch a little bit here, and I want to go to your podcast. So, The Minds with Hakeem, all about discovering health, wealth, and knowledge. What inspired you to start your podcast?
Yeah, no, that's a really good and interesting question, especially in times that we're living in right now. So what kind of inspired me to start it was, I had this huge identity as a basketball player. I was All-American in college, first team all conference, I'm getting all these awards. I went played pro. And now I'm getting ready to get geared up and go back to Indonesia again for my second season in 2020, in March of 2020. And then the world stops. And that was my hey, you fulfilled your duties. You probably should retire now. Because I knew I wanted to get married to my wife, Sam, and I wanted to have kids like we got Titus right now. And I couldn't do it on that salary, and I just couldn't do it moving around like that. So I went through a small window of identity crisis, and this happens when most athletes retire because they identify so heavily as an athlete. So that I'm like, how do my friends are going to view me? How and none of those relationships change. It's just all in our heads when it comes to that. But I knew I was kind of behind in the workplace because I was pursuing basketball and basketball only. So I would pick up part-time jobs here and there to make money. And I was obsessed with like learning at that time. And then obviously I literally thought our world was in the brink of a civil war
Mm-hmm.
during COVID, just with different views of opinions in a lot of areas of life.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, I really need to learn a lot, and I need to learn a lot fast. I can read, yes, but I'm a slow reader. I can listen to podcasts and books, yes. But how can I get and then I start to review back on my life and I learn more from conversation. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is like learning for me. So I'm like, I could like start a podcast, interviewing people about their walks of life
Mm-hmm.
and learn from people. Cause I'm a huge proponent of you can learn from others.
Yes.
Obviously, we know we can learn from others, but you can learn from others' mistakes, most importantly. Everything you don't have to bump your head with and go through. Some stuff you
Mm-hmm.
have to. Some stuff
Yep.
you have to learn on your own. And I'm open to that. But so I just want to interview experts in every field of life, broad. So I've had lawyers, I've had counselors, I've had physical therapists, I've had educators, you name it, across the board. And every time I interview a therapist, I feel like I'm getting a free therapy session. It's a beautiful thing, and I don't mind sharing stuff with people either. So, but yeah, no. So that kind of prompted me to start it, and then to get out other people's voices because there are people in Des Moines um, who are doing awesome work. They're doing
Mm-hmm.
great work, and nobody knows who they are. Not saying people should celebrate and know who they are, but those people are fine with doing good work in those dark, like in those hidden spaces. And I wanted to amplify their voices at that time too. So
Mm-hmm.
that prompted me to just jump off the porch and start it.
Mm-hmm. The identity crisis.
Hmm.
As someone that, you think your life is going in one direction and then it's the pivot, right?
Hmm.
And granted, your identity crisis with retiring from basketball, totally different with my identity crisis with going through a divorce.
Still identity
And
crisis.
it's still a crisis, right? It's still
Hmm.
something where
Hmm.
you have to change your mindset to think this part of my life is over. What am I
Yes,
going to
yes,
do
yes.
next? And you brought up something that is important because I feel like a lot of the times we have these conversations, we know of these people doing things, and it's almost like we don't kind of know what to do or where to go. And then start these podcasts. And I shared this story on at the end of the episode that I did with Kayla Bell Consolver. And I remember telling her my podcast is really it's like a love letter to myself because me being a girl from Iowa, I've always wanted to say the things that I'm saying on this podcast, but who the hell am I going to tell?
Yeah,
And
that's fair.
I remember at the end of the show, after the recording was done, she said, Emily, did you ever think that maybe the conversations you're having are conversations that you're having with your younger self?
Mm.
Immediately started crying, and I got mad. I was just like, "How dare you, therapist
Yeah,
me and make me
you're
cry
not at
right
work,
now?
Kayla.
How dare
She's
you,
like,
Kayla? I love
oh.
you for this though, but how dare you?" But it's made me think a lot more about who I am and
Hmm.
what I want to bring to the show.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
with you doing the minds,
Mm.
when you look at your podcast and you've done over 70 episodes and you've had amazing people on the show, do you feel that the conversations that you're having are conversations that you wish you would have had with your younger self?
That's a loaded question.
We can blame Kayla for that. How dare
Yeah,
she?
no, absolutely. Yes and no. And reason I say yes and no because it depends on the guest. Like I've had financial people on to come teach financial literacy. Like that's something I never learned as my younger self. So I kind of want to have a conversation with this person to learn what they know. But I don't feel those deep roots of like, ooh, this is the attack of my inner child. But most of the time when I'm interviewing people who dedicated to community work or people who are therapists in different realms like that. Even I had a really good episode with Austin Luce, who's a lawyer. I think that was in 23. Even that one, I kind of felt like I was talking to inner child Jjuan because I always tell people all the time, you can't kill the child in yourself. Like the
Mm,
moment you kill that child inside of you and get all serious or whatever, that's the moment you went wrong. I think feeding that inner child is important if you do it the right way. Absolutely, I try to curate guests around those inner child. There'll be some episodes that I've done. I don't want to share any names to be disrespectful, but I felt like it was against my inner child completely. Like I felt like I wasn't even supposed to be here with this person. This
mm-hmm,
person kind of forced their way to get in front of me, and I say yes ultimately, so I take full responsibility for it. There are some people who can bring out that even before I even reach out to them to get on. That's something from the childhood that I'm like, yes, I need to kind of
mm-hmm,
unpack this and stuff like that. So I absolutely I feel that way a lot, especially like it's a little different being away from home and interviewing mostly people from Iowa,
mm-hmm,
and now trying to enter the virtual realm more. But the biggest inner child episode was, and it's actually still my most viewed episode. I interviewed 6 of my friends from Beaumont, Texas. When I was
mm-hmm,
in Texas for a while,
uh-huh,
it was a tough time. Man, the feedback from that episode spoke to other people in the child. Like I had
mm,
women and men calling me like, yo, 10 years of friendship, male friendship, this is unheard of. I'm so proud of y'all. And like when we was talking, man, you off the record about your friends, a friend group you got for 15 plus years. I can't remember the exact year. To me, that spoke to my inner child. That's beautiful because I have the ability and I have beautiful relationships with my friends. And I just naive going about thinking this is how everybody is.
mm-hmm,
People aren't like that. People are lonelier than ever today.
mm-hmm,
Like right now, people are lonelier than ever.
yep,
So those things deeply value and sports kind of rooted that.
mm-hmm,
Through me, I always had that camaraderie, that feel. And then that was another big fear about that identity crisis. It's like, I don't have a group of guys in the locker
mm,
room to like rally around and be on mission for understanding the great privilege I have, especially in this state where we're a super minority in this state as far as people of color. I have the great privilege of leading and being an example
mm-hmm,
to young boys of color
mm-hmm,
in the state of Iowa. So yeah,
mm-hmm.
no, absolutely.
And you bring up the connectedness that
Hmm.
is so
Hmm.
important. And I'm definitely going to go back and listen to that episode because having those friendships, having those people that have known you and they've seen you
Hmm.
grow, those are so invaluable. Like I know my friend group and we've been together for 30 years. So
Hmm.
since
I was
cuz we're
30. Yeah, I was
yeah,
way
yeah,
off.
yeah, yep.
My bad.
I will say that I met the majority of these girls in middle school and
And I
we are
love that.
yep, and so 2020 are all going to be entering our 40s. And
Okay.
it's something to where we, first of all, and I'm pretty sure this is how it is with your friends. It doesn't matter if we haven't seen each other in 6 years or 6 days.
Nope. Nope.
No time has passed.
Don't
We
skip
are
a beat.
still cackling and kikiing
Hmm.
and all of those things and loving on one another.
Hmm.
And then being able to share in success and celebrate each other. In my darkest moments, when I've gone through some of my deepest depressions, what's always helped me come out of it is knowing that I have the
Yeah.
love and support of my friends, period.
Yeah.
Every single
And
time.
to caveat on that, that year span or 6 months or whatever, 6 years, my wife told me, she observed, she was like, hey, you have a good time in Des Moines. And I truly think you love your life in Des Moines. But when you back at home, you laugh different. Your
Mm,
accent come back out. Like you laugh. Not saying you don't laugh in Des Moines. And I have great friends in Des Moines who are
mm,
absolutely hilarious. But the laughter, I feel like a kid when I'm with these men. And we're all grown men doing outstanding things in our areas that we're in, and we're all over the place. One's in Denver, one just moved from Atlanta back to Beaumont, a couple in Houston. So we're spread out. But when we get together, we just got together in Atlanta. It's a beautiful thing. It's like they don't live in Houston. Like
mm.
it's like I'm just up the block from them. So I can relate strongly to that. It's just different. And the stigma of when you go to college, you're going to forget your high school friends. Those people who didn't have high school friends,
No,
first of all.
no,
People
they
the
didn't.
person who started that didn't have real relationships in high school.
Yep. And they didn't have relationships that they felt were worth maintaining.
Exactly.
Because I tell you right now, my life would not be the same without those girls.
Same.
Period.
For
Done.
my friend group, same.
Yeah. Done for sure. All right. Well, before I get to my final question, I always like to do, this is my favorite part of the show that I decided to do season 2, and it is our lightning round. So I have 10
Yeah.
questions that I am going to fire off at you, and I want you to go ahead and give me your honest answer. Some of these might be controversial.
I'll
But
answer as quickly as possible.
we're going to do it. So first one, favorite Iowa
Hello,
spot for food?
Michelle's.
Lachelle's? Okay.
I enjoy their burgers
Yep.
deeply.
Yep. Okay. Houston or Iowa sports? Who are you cheering for? So you
This is
got
not even close. It's not even close.
Iowa, right?
Texas,
Come
Texas.
on.
No debate. No debate. I'm not no Iowa State, Drake. I could care less. Like, this is the first year I'm cheering for Iowa State. Don't take offense. My best friend nephew, he's a receiver on the Iowa State football team. I could care less what Iowa State basketball do, track. I don't care. I want Xavier to be successful. So I have no dog in the fight. And I love, if I'm in a room full of Iowa fans, I'm an Iowa State guy. If I'm in a room full of Iowa State guys, I love Iowa. So
Okay.
I'm a controversial guy. But no, I don't. I really don't care about it. They got it.
The most important question, which is not even on here, and I should have put it on here. Are you a Cowboys fan, though?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to throw my Dez Brown jersey on right now.
All right. All right. Well, I mean, you know what? I should have worn my Packers hoodie today.
We play you tomorrow.
Yep, tomorrow. Yep.
And unfortunately, my wife is a cheesehead fan too. I thought I had to
Good. You married a smart woman. We love
I can't believe
over
this.
here. Yes.
So, as a Cowboy fan who knows, the last time they won the Super Bowl, I was 1 years old, so I have no memory of it, but I know it happened. It's fact. I'm gonna let my son be a Packer fan because I don't want him to go through the misery that his dad is going through. So that's the only reason. I love him.
You're a good dad.
I love him, and his happiness means more than dad's happiness. I could never switch sides of the road ever, but yeah, no.
You know,
there we
and
are.
that's good. And as someone that was a Cowboys fan during their heyday,
I can't believe you switched sides of the road.
I was a Cowboys fan back in the heyday. I remember all 3 Super Bowls. I remember that feeling. I had an Emmitt Smith poster in my room. Okay, prime time, stop.
Man, Mike
I remember all of it, and
goodness.
yes, I remember all of it. So yes, that's a conversation for another day. Maybe I'll have you back on my NFL episode.
100%. All right, lightning.
All right. Best piece of career advice you ever received?
It's a strength to ask for help, and I learned that from Dr. Darlene Turner. On the interview, she's a nuthetic counselor. What nuthetic means is Christian counselor. I interviewed her, and as a Black man, we's always told to do it on our own. Push through, push through, push through. When she said it's a strength to ask for help, so many layers in my brain just opened up that I wasn't even aware of. And it made me a better man. It made me a better person at work and at home.
Yes, I love that. Go to book or podcast that inspires you right now.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's a podcast because it's church sermons in Atlanta. It's Pastor Philip Anthony Mitchell podcast. It's called 2819 Church. That's what every Sunday I'm rocking for them. Like I'm listening I'm at Cottage Grove in person, and mentally I'm in Atlanta at Philip Anthony's church. But my favorite book of all time, Law of Human Nature by Robert Greene. And it's about as thick as the Bible. I love Robert Greene, and it's perfect because my wife hates Robert Greene. She thinks he wants to conquer and take over. I'm like, no, he just want to teach you about people who conquer and take over.
Yes.
And how you can mesh with all of these folks. Robert Greene is one of my favorite authors, my top 3 for sure. But Law of Human Nature has still been my favorite secular book to this day.
Okay. One word that best describes the minds with Hakeem.
Genuine.
Okay. Coffee or tea?
Black coffee, no sugar, no cream. No debate.
Yeah, you're from Texas. That's a very Texas answer. Just give it to me straight. All right. Dream guest for your podcast.
This is hard because I have 2.
Okay.
I have 2. And I want to interview them together. One is Jocko Willink. He's an ex-Navy SEAL. And one is Simon Sinek.
Okay.
Simon Sinek you probably know Simon Sinek.
Yep.
He created the theory of
Golden
your
Circle.
why. Like, what's your why? Yes. What's your why? And leaders eat last. And I think and I feel like I'm disrespecting Simon when I say this, but this is my true observation. Marco is like on the extremely masculine end, and Simon is like, to me, his leadership style is on the extremely feminine end, and it blends together. Like I think their leadership, I think if them two started a company, it would take over the world.
Got you.
But go ahead.
Okay. A habit or ritual that keeps you grounded?
Prayer.
Mm.
I'm telling you, if I don't submit myself to prayer, Emily, I'll be a different person. So I got to be one with God. That's the biggest thing for me.
Okay. What's a hidden talent you have outside of basketball?
Singing, and I'm finna show you. I'm just playing. I cannot sing. I
I
cannot
was to say, oh
sing.
Lord.
I cannot sing. I think, and this is gonna sound really, really like out there, but the hidden talent that I have is restorative. Like I have the ability, God gave me a weird ability to restore relationships with two
Mm.
people who may disagree.
Mm-hmm.
And see the world completely different. Now, I'm not saying kumbaya, restore, wrap hands around each other, love each other, but just make the relationships peace. And I find great pleasure in that when two others have disagreement,
Mm-hmm.
how we make it all come together and where we can respectfully do our business
Mm-hmm.
without disrespecting the other.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And last but not least, finish this sentence. I feel most alive when.
I'm in the gym. I feel most alive when I'm in the gym, for sure. And that goes for across everything that I do, whether it's kettlebell training, basketball, or jujitsu. I feel most alive when I'm doing physical activity.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Well, Jjuan, we've talked about a lot of different things today. We've talked about growing up in Beaumont, Texas, how much you dislike Iowa winters, and also about the work you're doing with Change Course, and also about your
Mhm.
podcast. To someone listening to this episode, what is one thing that you want them to take away from everything that we have talked about if they just so happen
Mhm.
to be going through a difficult?
Yep. Um, One thing I will say, and it's tied against that restorative peace and unity. Nobody wins when the family feud. Nobody wins when America feud. Nobody. And I think the one thing I want people to take away in this divisive world we have the great pleasure, I say that rolling my eyes if you are not watching video, of living in. I think we need to be more together on a lot of things than separate. So I challenge people, don't let people put you in a box. Be I hope I try to live my life as a forerunner for Christ first and foremost, but a forerunner for not being able to be pinned down by a stigma. Um, yes, I'm a black man from Beaumont, Texas, and I want to defy all the odds of who you think a black man of Beaumont, Texas is in the right way. I hope people, like as we push this world ahead, state we're in ahead, I want people to be more willing to say, don't, I can't sit in that lane with you, but I love this lane about you. I
Mm.
love that you do this. And just speaking the truth in love. That's what we need to get better at as a community. So,
Yes. Yes, speaking the truth in love. That's fantastic.
mhm,
So, Jjuan, at this point of the episode, I'd like to go ahead and roll the red carpet out to you. I want to make sure people know where to find you. So, if you
absolutely.
want to kind of share your socials, share whether you can find the podcast, all of that great stuff.
Absolutely. And this might be a first for your podcast, but first and foremost, if you want to find me, I'm at Cottage Grove Church. We are there every Sunday. You can find me there if you want to bump shoulders with me. I'm there a lot, probably 3-4 days a week. But the podcast on Instagram can be found there. Please follow us there. And then our website is JjuanHakeem.com. That's where you'll see all the latest episodes and uploads there. So that's kind of where you can find us.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Jjuan, thank you for joining me today and sharing your story with such honesty and passion. From Beaumont, Texas to Des Moines, from the basketball court to the boardroom, your journey shows how faith, family, and purpose can guide
Mm.
a life and have impact. For the listeners, again, be sure to check out the Minds with Hakeem wherever you listen to your podcast, and also connect with the incredible work he's doing at Change Course and across our community. Thank you so much for tuning in to Black Girl Iowa. Don't forget to subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and YouTube so you never miss an episode. You can also shop for exclusive podcast merch and my journaling kits on Etsy at Black Girl Iowa Shop. And don't forget, you guys, follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Black Girl Iowa for behind the scenes, updates on next upcoming episodes, and all of the random musings about my life. Until next time, keep rising, keep reflecting, and keep celebrating our stories.